Hey, what's up, guys? Spencer Rhodes here. So, last episode of The Walking Dead, which is Season 9, Episode 3 at this point, last Sunday, we saw Maggie and Daryl deciding to let Arat die. Arat was a part of Simon's little group that executed all of the male members of the Oceanside that were older than the age of 10. So that was the whole big mystery during the first few episodes of who was killing the saviors, Justin and everyone. It was the Oceanside people. And we find out that Cindy had a little brother that was 11, so he barely missed the cut, and he had to be executed. And Arat had been pointing a gun at his head, and he was crying, and Cindy was begging for him to live, and Arat smiled and told her to beg, and then she eventually just said no exceptions and shot the kid anyway. And we've seen ever since season 7, in the last few years, Arat has had a ruthless nature, and she has been kind of a bitch. I mean, under Negan's, as someone working for Negan, as one of Negan's top lieutenants, she was ruthless. She was cruel. She was a bitch. She had no problem following orders. She had no problem being sort of sadistic and evil and doing bad things. But you could also argue that she was just trying to survive. She did not want to be someone at the sanctuary just starving, working their asses off, barely making ends meet, because that's how most of the people at the sanctuary were. Negan said it himself: if you're a savior, you can live like a king, but if you work for points, you're just going to be miserable. He told that to Daryl. That was his pitch to Daryl for becoming a savior. That could have been the pitch to Arat, but Arat must have been a savior before Negan took charge. If Arat was one of Simon's people, keep in mind, Simon had those people at Oceanside executed when they had the old leader. Negan took over after Simon killed the Oceanside people, and Negan let that slide because he was not in charge when Simon did that. And Simon helped Negan overthrow the old leader. So Negan wanted to keep Simon around. He didn't want to kill him or anything, even though what he did was pretty psychotic. I mean, killing 11-year-old boys and everything. Yeah, but did Arat deserve to die? That's tricky because she seems to have been okay. So in the first 3 episodes, she seemed to be a well-adjusted member of the community. She seemed like she wanted to work together. She didn't really seem like a threat to anyone, and that's kind of the tragic thing. We didn't really see much of her as a supposedly a good guy. She was killed in this episode. We didn't see much of her post Negan. She seemed to be working with everyone else okay. She seemed to be all right. She didn't seem to be her normal bitchy self. You could argue that she just adapted again, like she adapted to Negan, like she adapted to the old leader. She's just adapting. But, I mean, it's the zombie apocalypse. That's kind of what Eugene did. Eugene adapted. I mean, Dwight was cruel as a savior. When Dwight got his face burned, he was cruel to Rosita. He told Daryl about how he killed Denise by accident because he was aiming for Daryl, like he was just having a good time with all of it. So, I mean, acting evil is kind of a part of being a savior. There weren't any nice saviors. There weren't any saviors that went behind Negan's back and gave people candy or anything. In order to be a savior, you had to be an asshole. And Arat certainly did her job. She did what she had to do to stay as a savior. And that's kind of the tricky thing. I don't think we'll ever know. I don't think we'll ever completely know. I'm leaning towards she deserved to die and she was a bitch. I mean, her killing Olivia, I mean, she could have picked someone else. I feel like she just did that for the sake of killing Olivia. So maybe she wasn't a good person. But it's just frustrating because I don't think we're ever going to know for sure. We didn't see much of Arat to really know whether she, if she was just doing what she had to do because she was scared of being a normal person at the sanctuary, struggling for points, not getting things her way. I mean, Dwight and Sherry were miserable when they were doing that. They escaped because they hated working for points. That's how bad it was. So maybe Arat wasn't that bad of a person, but her smiling and telling Sydney to beg for her brother's life, yeah, I mean, that's a bit much. I doubt Simon told her to do that. Maybe she did that to impress Simon, to make a good impression, to impress the old leader. It seems like she wants to, when she's under Negan's control, she wants to impress Negan. So maybe she was just doing the sadistic things that she was doing to impress her leaders so that she would be in a comfortable position, and she would prove her worth and her value. So maybe she didn't deserve to die. I'm leaning on she was kind of a bad person and she deserved it. The thing with Sydney's brother was a bit much. I have to imagine that was not quite necessary. If she had just shot the kid and just done deal, I'd be sympathetic to her. But for her to tell Sydney to beg and for the kid to cry and for her to drag it out and kill him anyway, like I said, even then, she could have been doing that to impress Simon. She could have been doing that to impress her leader. She could have been doing the things in Season 7 and Season 8 to impress Negan. She might have just not wanted to struggle at the Sanctuary. It seemed like the people at the Sanctuary that were working for points were not happy. So, I mean, right now, I'm leaning on Arat deserved to die. But the tragic thing is that I don't think we're ever going to know for sure because we just didn't see much of her in Season 9. We saw a few scenes of her post Negan, and then she got executed by Sydney. So we're never completely going to know for sure. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Did Arat deserve to die? Should she have been given a second chance? Would she have stayed a good guy? Was she just adapting? Was she justified in doing the violent things she did as a savior? There's a lot of questions, and I like how complicated this is. And this is not something we would have had under Scott Gimple's direction. I think this was totally something that Angela King did, and I thought it was brilliant. I love that episode. I love that scene. But let me know what you think. Did Arat deserve to die? Should she have lived? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, don't be shy. Hit that like and subscribe. I'm not going anywhere. I make 1 to 2 Walking Dead videos per day. So please hit that subscribe button. And with all that said, I am Spencer Rhodes, and I will see you guys later. Bye.